Welcome back to the Mind Goals podcast, hosted by yours truly, Siobhan Higgins, sport and performance psychology consultant, otherwise known as a mental performance coach. I'm also a yoga teacher, and formerly I was a professional soccer player. The Mind Goals podcast is a space that I hold for myself, other athletes, and other athletic personnel so that we can converse and discuss how we acquired the mindset that we have today, all with the goal in mind that any listeners or viewers can overall improve their mindset as well. Today, I'm so honored to finally have my friend and the Houston Dash's media. I don't even want to say media girl, but I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Director of social and content.
Bianca Verar. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It's a new title. It's kind of newish, so we're working through it.
I was gonna ask you also. Welcome.
Thank you.
I was gonna ask because there are so many different ways you could call it, but I know that you've been there for so much time that you've gotten promoted, and So what is the title? I'm so sorry, but
no, you're so good. Director of social and content. I've always been in the digital marketing space for the Dash. It's just a matter of what am I doing and what is the correct title. It was interesting because I think when I first got the job, social media as a job was still pretty new.
Yes.
So they kind of put a bunch of things. Like when I first started with the Dash, I was doing organic social, I was doing web, and I was also doing email, and eventually we added an app on there. There was a lot going on. Should not have been a one-person job, but as you know, in sports, that's kind of how it goes sometimes. But eventually transitioned fully into organic social. So then became social media manager, kind of a content producer as well. And then now the new title is Director of Social and Content. We actually just recently created a Dash dedicated front office. So everybody that I work with is Dash dedicated. Nice. We still share a couple of resources across the club, but it's very nice to just kind of focus fully on one club, and everybody who knows me knows I will do anything for the Dash, and that's kind of my main focus, so I'm happy I can finally just put my energy into that.
Yeah, no, that's good, and thank you for explaining that, because I was going to ask, and I remember, stopping by to get things and see you, and that's the front office that you're mentioning?
Yeah. Okay. I need to bring you to a proper tour, because we actually moved. I don't remember if you remember, but there's that front space, and then there was that bank that was next to us, and then there was the door that I came out of was the main offices.
Okay.
We're in that bank space now. That bank moved out, and that's our Dash dedicated office.
Ooh, cool.
So you need to come by for a tour soon.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'd love
come
to.
by anytime. I have a beanbag in my office. It's great.
Oh, I love that. Okay, nice. Well, that's exciting.
Yeah, it's been, we've been moving very fast, obviously, since we are in season now, but it's been a very fulfilling thing for me just to be able to see a team that is 100% for just the Dash. I have a boss who is working her way through everything. I don't know how she does it all. I'm very impressed with her and her ability to just kind of get things done and support us at the same time. So it's been really, really cool to see how it's come together the past couple of months.
Yeah, there's a lot to take on. And so, no, I love to hear this, obviously, as a former player and somebody who's really passionate about developing the women's game. This is really important, especially to the players. And so I know that everyone working together and just being able to support each other in the right ways is best, especially in working environments too. You want to be happy, you want to be able to make sure you know what you're meant to do, that you're supported, and that people aren't being stretched thin, because burnout is always in the question. And that is a question I do have eventually for you, so I'll keep that in my pocket for now.
Yeah, we can talk all about it later.
Yeah, I'm sure you've had some sort of experience with that. But I like to start the show with how we met and who you are. We know a little bit of who you are now, but I'm going to ask your perspective. When did we meet and where?
That's a great question. Because I was just telling you before we started filming, it's been a minute. We've known each other for a decade now.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly which year it was. I know, because I remember, so me and my best friend in high school, Alexia, shout out Alexia, hope you're doing well. We were just the type of kids who if we wanted something, we'd figure out a way to do it. And
Same.
We wanted to make extra money, but we didn't want to work a job that we didn't enjoy.
Yeah.
Somehow, I don't remember how we found out about Rice soccer camps, but they were looking for coaches. So us in high school, I don't know how we applied and got this job. Somehow we did.
So, yeah, I'm you were in high school? That's cool,
correct.
Though.
Yeah, it was either my junior or senior year of high school that we started.
Okay.
Because I can't remember if I met you the first or second year I did it.
Yeah, I did 4 years of it, I think.
Same. I did it pretty much until I graduated college, I think. I don't remember. But Anyway, we decide these two high schoolers are showing up to this rice camp with all these college soccer players just coaching these 4 to 6 year olds every week. But you were one of the coaches one year, the first year that we interacted. And we just met from there. And I think we just stayed in the same circles. We knew a lot of the same people, I feel like, is what it was. And then I don't know if you remember this, but Alexia and I on payday, because we do Monday through Friday camp. Friday was payday. We'd always go to Chipotle after. And so we just try to get people to come to Chipotle with us every Friday.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it was just like, I don't know why, but it was just like, let's go to Chipotle with this new money we got.
No, I mean, obviously, I mean, it was first of all, for a high school and for a college, like, person, it was good money. And I was working like 2 jobs at the time, so this was like my morning one, and I was like, let me get in the sun, let me hang out with some kids, play some soccer, these beautiful views, like it's Rice University. And for me, it was summer off season, like I'm working out and then I'm coaching and then I get a rest and then I'll do something else too. But yeah, no, I don't. I was probably like, Friday, no way. No.
Yeah, you were like, I'm going home, actually. I can't do this. Thanks so much, though. But no, I remember, like, just the group of us coaching was, like, it was a fun group. Like,
it was.
I didn't know anybody outside of Alexia going into it, but, like,
Same.
There were quite a few people that, like, I don't necessarily keep in touch with outside of, like, you, obviously, but, like, I still check on what they're doing. And I'm like, oh, this is so cool that we're all just, like, grown up now.
Yeah, I have maintained a handful of those connections. I went in with my friend Rachel Bell, who was my college roommate, and I think you know Rachel too.
Yeah.
And then I, like, the handful of the Rice girls, I actually ended up like living with one of them one summer.
Oh wow.
I ended up one of the guys I saw him like 2 weeks ago when we were playing the same co-ed team at Toros.
Oh yeah, your usual, your
yeah,
weekly.
my weekly. And so yeah, like the people keep popping up. I'm sure there's more. Another one I want to say maybe like help me get a job.
Oh, nice. Love that.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like the soccer world is so cool because we make so many connections. And yeah, so since then, it's not like we've hung out and been besties, but we have stayed connected. And I've always been supporting you and you've always been supporting me. So it's been really nice. Like I also remembered, not to rant about this, but in 2020, we were both doing like you're in the creative social media space. And remember I was like doing some graphics and drawing?
Yes.
And then you were making some graphics and stickers. Do you still make any stickers?
I haven't made them in a while. I still have all the tools to make them.
Okay.
Just got a little busy. But yeah, that was like, because I got laid off in COVID, literally 3 weeks before the Challenge Cup, famously that the Houston Dash won.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, I mean, like it was hard for me because I was like, how lucky do you get to be to get your dream job off the bat right after college? Like, I know that's something I never take for granted. So like when that all happened, I thought my life was over. But it was like that. It really let me explore kind of my creative side that I lost a little bit after starting my job, which was cool. And then eventually it brought me back, obviously. But it was a good time for me to kind of explore, like, what do I look like without soccer? What do I look like without my quote unquote dream job? So it was nice to know that, like, I am not, I think that's, and we can talk about this later too when we get into burnout, but like, I am not my job. I don't tie my worth to my job anymore, which is it's a very big lesson to learn, and it's not an easy one.
Yeah. And yes, that's essentially what I would dive into as well, because an athlete to experience very similar things because it is their job, but it's also like a passion, and it's probably was your passion too, and it is your job. It's difficult, and it's kind of like sticky to navigate, especially the separation or like the departure, moving on eventually if that happens. But getting into that, so I'm curious, you mentioned it was a dream job. Let's rewind a little bit to say like college age. Yeah, where did you go to school? What were you studying? And what made you passionate about soccer in a way that wanted you to pursue a career in social media and sports?
Yeah, I went to the University of San Diego. I actually went in as like a general business major, I think.
Okay.
But my parents were like, you kind of should probably get more specific about that. Like my parents, so I'm a daughter of immigrants. They immigrated from the Philippines. Nice. And I think anyone who understands the immigrant experience understands that like job security is everything to them. Mm-hmm. When I was like in high schoolish, I kind of wanted to explore like filmmaking. Like I didn't know my job was a job. I think around the time we were going to college, like social media was like a fun personal thing you did. It wasn't like a business. Mm-hmm. But I wanted to, I knew, so when the Dash came in 2014, I was probably the most obnoxious person on the planet about it. Like I wanted to be involved in any way possible. Thankfully, like Brian Ching was the managing director at that time. I don't remember. He wasn't the GM, but he was like something like that.
Okay.
He was nice enough to let me shadow him for a day. That's crazy for me to say.
That's so fun.
Yeah,
I've played soccer with Brian Ching before.
Oh my God, did you really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I always see him around now, and I'm like, hey, remember that one time I shadowed you? That's crazy. But no, it's I was literally just trying to get any opportunity to work in soccer. So I actually was the student manager for the team in San Diego, the D1 women's soccer team. They had never had a manager before, so I was kind of just doing everything.
Yeah.
So everything from like ordering meals, equipment, like all this stuff. Like I was doing team laundry at one point, which
that's a
I'm
grind.
like, that's crazy.
You were getting in sticky situations. Like you were this is like intern material, right? Like they're just like do everything and anything. And also you're the type of person that would probably grind it out because you just wanted to be involved and you know what it takes to kind of.
For sure. Yeah. I was just happy to be in the room at that point. Cause I didn't grow up, like I grew up playing sports, but not at a high level, I would say. Like I tried out for Albion when I was 7, maybe. Okay. Made a team obviously, but I was also doing martial arts at that time. Ooh. And my parents were like, and they conflicted practices. So like my parents like, we're going with martial arts. Like that's more important to us, which totally fair. Cool. But I feel like I missed out on that part of it. Came back to it in soccer, obviously or in high school, obviously when I started playing soccer at high school. And then Alexia actually got me to play Albion with her a little bit at the end of high school, but I was like, it doesn't make sense for me. But I wanted to stay in the game and I wanted to work in the game, especially once the NWSL came around. I think that was such a pivotal moment for me personally. Like I think I really fell in love with women's soccer in the 2011 World Cup. And then from there, I was just like, how do I get involved at any way, shape, or form? But I didn't know the answer. I was able to shadow a couple people at the Dash before I left for college. I was the intern / student manager / whatever you want to call it with the team in school. But I also was like, what do I want to do with that at the end of the day?
Yeah.
My parents and I would go back and forth on like the business degree part of it all.
Yeah.
So it's funny because everybody laughs because I actually ended up graduating with a finance degree.
Okay.
And a marketing, and a marketing minor. So like that was a compromise, right? Like,
right. Okay.
If this sports thing doesn't work out, you have a finance degree. If it does, great. But then I was like, I need to protect myself and prepare myself for what I want to do, which I thought marketing would make the most sense at the time, which it did, thank God.
Also, finance degree, not easy.
No, it's not. It's actually really difficult. And it's funny. I tell people this all the time because like San Diego has a pretty good business program.
Yeah.
So
were
like,
just like, let me get a fallback degree, and someone's like really trying.
It was a struggle. It was a grind, but it was funny because everyone would talk about their internships and like, obviously people are like, oh, like Big 4 internships. And I'm like, I'm interning with the Houston Dash. And everyone's like, what are you talking about?
What are you doing for them?
Yeah. And I'm like, communications. And they're like, what is going on? But I mean, I don't regret any of it. Like it's obviously led me here. And like to know I have that finance degree to fall back on, if anything, is great. But I think I took a intro to social media. It was like social media marketing class or something. It was an elective for my marketing minor. And that was kind of the first time I was like, oh, social media is like a tool. Like you can do this. And from there, like one of our ADs was like previously with Stanford Athletics. So like he knew what was going on. He knew how to pull data from social media and stuff. And from there, it was just like, that's what I want to do if I can get in anyway. And at the time, PR and social were very intertwined because everyone thought it was the same thing at that time.
Yep.
So obviously ended up getting a internship with the comms team. Edgar, who I actually still work with today, which is like a very full circle moment for us to both be Dash dedicated now. But got that internship, and then I was just fortunate enough a position opened up in the digital marketing department when I was graduating, and I got hired literally 3 days after I graduated.
Oh,
so it was a very fortunate circumstance for me.
That's so cool, but you earned it.
I would like to hope so.
No, you really earned it. Like that's,
thank you.
Yeah, you're like fortunate. Like it wasn't, I mean, you are. Okay, I understand what you're saying. You're trying to be humble about it, but you really worked your way into that. And that's awesome. And they probably like created position knowing, oh, we have this girl, Bianca, who's so passionate and in our corner and wants to be a part of the Dash. And I feel like they would, I mean, I don't know this. I don't know. I'm speaking for them, but it just makes sense.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing about it is they had the position open, and it was for Dynamo and Dash. I think at that point, it was like early in the spring semester that I applied, And then I got the email that they had filled the position, so I thought my life was over at that point. But it was funny because a couple weeks later they reached out. They're like, "We're hiring 2 people for this one position. It's like one Dynamo dedicated, one Dash.
Oh, okay.
Still working together." But that was like, because I was like, "Well, I'm gonna be jobless when I graduate. That's awesome." But they reached back out in like April, and they're like, "Hey, we'd love to do one more interview."
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so it was a very like
Wow.
funny journey for me, but it ended up the way
That's
I would hope it would. Yeah, I was very scared.
Oh no. Were those interviews? So also, I didn't ask. Are you from Houston? Or sorry, no. When did you guys move to Houston? Like, was that the first place you guys lived, or was it San Diego?
Yeah, no. So my mom came here first. She's a nurse, retired now. Shout out, mom. But she came in as a nurse with a group of other Filipinos from her class. And then my dad, they were together at the time, but he was working in Bahrain, I think. They're going to be so mad if I mess this up, but I think that's correct. And he moved here a year later. And then our entire family is here, lived here my whole life. And then everyone was kind of confused on why I decided to go to San Diego, but I thought it'd be fun.
Oh, I'm not confused. I mean, it's a beautiful city.
100%.
And it's a great school.
It is. It's funny because everyone's like, why didn't you just stay in San Diego? And I'm like, do you know how expensive it is out there? Like, and also the Dash the opportunity came up. I wasn't going to turn it down, but it was just, it's funny because everyone's like, why'd you go back to Houston? I'm like, you don't understand. And I think moving away and coming back to experience Houston as an adult is a very different experience. I'm sure you get it. Like, you 100% understand what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's I
think it's important too.
It's 100%. Like I think, well, especially because I think me growing up, like my parents still live in Spring Branch, but I went to school, so I went to private school for a little bit, and then I went to charter school. But private school was in Memorial. Charter school was on the north side. It was like Veterans Memorial, like on the way to George Bush, essentially. Yeah. So like I was never really in the city.
Gotcha.
Outside of like if there was like an event or like I was going into downtown for something, like I wasn't around the city, which is funny because my cousins live in Pearland and they're like always in downtown, always like in Montrose, and I'm like, I was never doing this as a kid.
Same.
What are you doing?
Same, because I grew up in Katy, and so I mean, my family also moved here. We're also immigrants, and I moved here when I was like 4, and going into town was like, I don't know, you're right, an event, a convention, like maybe a game is nearby. Yeah. Even games are like spread all around, and Houston's massive, but I didn't get to experience Houston until I was truly like an adult, and I transferred my sophomore year and went to University of St. Thomas in Montrose. Yeah. So then I learned Houston, and then I've been living in and around Houston ever since. But it's a different experience as an adult. Sure. Yeah. When you're younger, you're like, oh, it's the big city. And now you're just like, the city is not that big. I run into somebody I know like all the time.
I live in fear. I joke about this with my coworkers, but I'm like, I genuinely sometimes live in fear that I'm going to see someone. Like, I think I saw you at like page 25 once randomly. Duh. Like, naturally, like obviously the one place we would both be, but like just seeing like people from like, and you make more sense, but it's like people from high school. I see like hanging out at page 25. I'm like, what are you doing?
Oh yeah. I Same. I run into somebody all the time. I'm like, we're probably jinxing it. When we go somewhere after this, we're going to run into someone.
Oh, 100%. It's going to be someone we both know too, because that's just how it's going to work.
That would be funny. We'll have to take a picture of that.
Yes, please.
Okay, so we know now a little bit more about you, about your role. I want to get into a little bit of behind the scenes of kind of what you do on a day-to-day basis. So I don't really exactly know.
Most people don't.
Because I have had some behind the scenes insight because I used to be a referee. Yeah. And I used to I used to shadow the referees whenever they'd go in. So I've been in all the locker rooms. I've been behind, like, see the walkout, the timing, that time sheet that it's like you have to do boom, boom, boom by a certain time, go on the field, check everything, blah, blah, blah. So I've been there as like a referee, and then I've been around like as a fan, and then I've watched as a mental performance coach. So I'm like, now I've got a little bit of insight, but not on the media side. So for you, what does a week really involve for you? And I guess let's say a week in season.
Yeah, I mean, it still depends every week, but in general, first of all, I also forgot you did the whole reffing thing for a little bit. I would see you before the game. I'd be like, oh my God.
Yeah, we would I have like so many pictures of you like from the stands.
Like, wow. Our circles have really just been intertwined this whole time.
Yeah,
that's
this
so
is
funny.
bound to happen.
Yeah. But yeah, I would say, like, let's say match day at the end of the week. I try to go to training at least once a week to get content. We do have a great content team. Like we have great videographers, great graphics team. We have a full-time photographer now, which is a newer addition, which is great.
Nice.
So it takes a little bit off of me for having to create as much, but cell phone content obviously is the name of the game right now. So still trying to get out and do that when I can. But typically I'll circle up at the beginning of the week with our content team and kind of be like, this is what we're looking for this week. This is what we want to shoot. This is what we can shoot. This is what we still need to ask about. Kind of get all our ducks in a row, connect with the PR team and make those asks that we need to. And usually I'm more so in this new role. I'm more so just in the office because I have other things to do. A big part of my job this year, which is new, is inviting influencers out to our games. It's been a very interesting and like fun process. I think getting to meet a lot of these people has been really cool, but it's kind of figuring out which influencers we want to bring out to a game. I think Houston actually has quite a few influencers that I didn't realize was such a big market for.
Okay.
But just figuring out who to invite, who can come, making sure they're taken care of, as well as, you know, the team duties of like making sure we have all our graphics in line. If anyone's hitting a milestone, we have that ready, and just anything we need to be aware of. Like Sophie Schmidt just returned from the season-ending injury list last week. So making sure we had that ready in case she played. She didn't, but like she was on the roster, so that was really cool to see.
Yeah.
But it's just like little things like that leading up to game day. And then once game day hits, it's kind of just like, for me, all systems go. Like, I think I don't stop moving on game day until I'm in my car on the way home. So it's just a very intense, I don't want to say intense, but like it's a very high energy, high pace, environment that like I personally thrive in. Okay. So it's been pretty rewarding for me.
Okay, nice. Yeah, that's what I would imagine. I mean, every time, like if I had tried to text you on a game day, I know I'm like, don't expect to hear from Bianca.
Yeah.
Or like maybe because she's on her phone, but it's like, no, just don't text me, I'm busy.
Yeah, no, I just want to say this to everybody who tries to text you on game day. I promise I'm not ignoring you on purpose. I am busy. I actually just had friends visit. They came to Pups at the Pitch last game. And as soon as the whistle blew, I was like in the post-game huddle, I think, with the team. My phone starts blowing up and they're calling me so I can come say hi.
Yeah.
And I literally had to go over to them after and be like, hey guys, I'm working. Like, we can't do this right now.
Yeah.
We don't, like, try again later. But it's like, I promise I'm not ignoring you guys. I will get back to you when I'm not working.
Yeah. Good PSA. Just so that you know.
Just had to put it out there.
I mean, it's true. I mean, I think at first, whenever I was like doing the reffing behind the scenes, I was like, oh, why isn't, Bianca saying anything? But it's it's go from start to finish. And when does that day start for you?
Game days usually we'll get into the stadium probably like 3 hours before kickoff, maybe 3 or 4 hours, I would say. On like when we have weekday games, like I'll probably come into the office a little before that, but for the most part, it's 3 to 4 hours before the game, because I think players get in around 2 hours before a game. I don't know. It all blurs together at this point.
Yeah.
But obviously you want to get there before players start arriving. That way we can get set up, make sure the team is good on responsibilities, make sure everything's working the way it's supposed to.
Yep.
But it's funny because there's a lot of little fires you have to put out on game day, and it feels like even if you come in the most prepared you've been, everything's charged, like something is going to go wrong.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of figuring out how to adjust, adapt. I think I'm very grateful I have a team that is good at solving problems, because I know it's not the case every single time, but for us, it's very, especially at home, we're fortunate to have like a pretty built out team on game day. So it's easy to kind of problem solve as we go.
Yeah, I think that's necessary, especially in like a high-paced environment. So you have to be able to pivot and adjust accordingly. Otherwise,
Otherwise we're in trouble.
Yeah, no, but it sounds like you guys got it down. Have a good team too.
Yeah, I think what's nice is like we've all been here for a while. Like it's not really, I mean, we have new people, but they're not new to sport, which is nice. So it's very easy to kind of just go with the flow, figure things out, and like obviously emotions can run high on game days just because it's so intense and like you want to get it right, but it's very easy for us to be like, hey guys, we're good, we've got this. So very, very thankful for that.
Yeah. What's the most chaotic part about game days?
Ooh, I think it's just turning content around in real time. Like
right.
From when I've started to now, it's a very different process, which I'm very grateful for, but it's to me, I think being able to kind of just be on top of it. And like right now, I'm the only person on the social team, which is something I'm trying to navigate. So
you're the person on like rules, respond, post,
Yep,
engage.
Yep. Pretty much all of it.
Okay.
But it's...
We found her.
Yeah, it's me. Please stop asking me to sign players. Thank you so much. But it's very... I think I've just done it for so long that I know how to manage it better. And especially with how technology has evolved as I've evolved in this role, it's become easier for me to kind of handle how game day goes. And it's just, I think when the Wi-Fi goes down, I think that is the biggest problem, or like the Wi-Fi is not working. I think that's when we're all kind of just like, okay, well, we're gonna we're gonna deal with it however we can, hope for the best. But it's like little things like that that like aren't in your control, but you're like, all right, how do we adapt now that this is not working in our favor?
Oof, yeah. Okay. So and that I feel like is that a problem that happens often, and it also depends like at home and away, right?
Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up because like home, like you kind of know what you're dealing with. You can adapt. You have the bodies in the building to kind of figure things out. On the road, it's myself and a videographer and our PR person. So like,
okay,
we're at the mercy of whatever venue we're in. So sometimes if the Wi-Fi is not working, we're just kind of like, okay, like what are we gonna do now? But it's very like, I haven't been to a stadium that the Wi-Fi just completely doesn't work. Like if I have to turn on a hotspot, like that's what I do.
Yeah.
Which thankful that I have that option, but it's very like, you just never know in some stadiums what you're gonna get. And thankfully I've been able to be in this league long enough and create those connections with certain media teams across the league and kind of figure out what's the best way you guys go about it. Like, how do you do this? So it's very interesting going from place to place, but it's always like, we're just gonna do our best and hope that works.
Yeah, let's see what today brings us. That's nice because then I guess it never gets really boring for you. Like there's always, like you just said, each week is different, but I don't know, you probably have adapted and you're like, well, you've been doing this for so long that now you have probably better options or better ideas, or it's like, plan B is fine. I've done a plan B before. I've done a plan C, done a plan D, and now I wonder what letter on the alphabet you're at.
Yeah, no, I'm just running through it. I'm actually starting over again because I've been through all.
Actually, you're doing a different language.
Yeah.
That's funny. What do you think a common misconception people have about media teams are?
I think there's quite a few. I mean, I think a lot of people don't understand that each team is built differently. Okay. Some teams have more resources than others. And like, not that that's a hindrance to people, but I think when you look at certain comments on social, like people just don't understand the inner workings of a social team. Like it's not just one person, it's a team of people. The marketing team is built up of so many different people. And I think it's funny to me because I think, people really assume the front office and the business ops are really one and the same, where really the front office is more so like our president of soccer, our GM, things like that. And then our business ops is like the marketing team, the sponsorship team, like all of those things. It's very different, but I think just not having that understanding of like how that split works is interesting to see from fans, because they kind of just, I've had conversations with people where like, why do you guys just not do this? And I'm like, well, that's not our department. So like, we can't, like we can talk about it, but it's not our decision at the end of the day.
Yeah. Okay. So, but there is like a delegated area to direct certain questions to, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I feel like I could see that too. I mean, especially for people who, let's see, because I don't want to say that social media is new. It's not new now,
right?
But it is like marketing in itself, and digital marketing has developed quickly in since we graduated. So we're old, 10 plus years.
Ooh, that's crazy.
Yeah. We're in 26 now, so about a little over 10 years, I guess, for me at least.
Yeah, me too.
So I wanted to ask, since you work with the Houston Dash, which is a women's soccer club, what is something that you've learned about working in their professional environment? So what surprised you when you first started working with a women's professional team?
I feel like you could kind of see this when the NWSL really started and you saw how they interact with fans, but like how, I don't know how to say it, but just like how personable everybody is. I feel like it's like everybody obviously has different personalities, and like not everybody is a people person, and that's fine. But I think in my experience with the Houston Dash since I've started, like you see that people really care about each other. It's not like, I don't want to say we're all like best friends or whatever, but it's very, from players to staff, especially the culture that Angela has built over the past 2 seasons. It's really no man for themselves. Like everybody cares about each other. We're all looking out for each other. And I think that's just a very unique experience in women's sports.
Yeah. You're just, I think that it comes from the culture
Yeah.
And so I wonder if that is everywhere, you know?
Yeah, that's what I'm curious about, because I've talked to other people on other clubs, and like it seems like, especially the people that I know, like it seems like it's a common theme, but it's just like you never know stepping into a new space what it's gonna be like.
Yeah, true. But I guess, I'm not to say this is all you know, but you've been with like a women's team since you graduated.
Yeah.
And so you have that you have that first hand experience, and you've seen it develop, and you know that the culture is an important part. And so someone has to cultivate that from the top down.
For sure, because I've seen, everybody knows the Houston Dash has had a storied past.
So many
Things happening, and I've been here for it all. But I think this specific environment that we're in right now is really, really the start of some really good stability, really good base for what's to come.
Good. I love to hear that. And this is a good segue to my next question is, from your perspective, what kind of environment do you think these athletes thrive in?
I think it's where they're supported, they're heard, and they are given the tools to succeed. Because I think being supported and heard is important, but unless you're given the proper tools to succeed and perform your very best, it's not, I don't want to say it's not worth it, but like you just can't get to that next level.
Yeah.
Like even with the Dash this past off season, we've added so many new technical staff members, which are needed resources, but they haven't been filled before. So getting to see that and seeing the players have what they need to succeed and just be at their best is really, really cool to see from like not quite the outside, but just like as someone who doesn't use those resources, you know?
Right. Yeah. Actually, I was looking at the staff the other day, and I noticed there's a lot, and I was like, this is a well-rounded staff. Like this is the support that previously as a player I didn't have. And I was like, wow, like, and this is why I like what I do, because again, there wasn't really that for me back then. And so I think that, yeah, you're right. So support, being heard, and just having that environment that's going to help you thrive. Like it's giving you the opportunity. Here's everything you need to hopefully play at your best and feel supported, and like you can do that. And it's there now.
Yeah,
we're here.
I know. We went to Coachella for our preseason trip because we've been trying to.
Coachella's going on right now, so
I know.
I thought you meant
No. We went to Coachella Valley. It's called the Coachella Valley Invitational. We did not go to Coachella.
That's good marketing.
No, it is. But we traveled our entire staff. So like from my team to everybody on the tech staff, like looking around, we were like, oh, there's like so many of us now.
Yeah.
It was just very cool to be like, we have it's not like we still have more people we could add, obviously, but like to see them supported in this way, I was like, this is actually very cool.
Yeah, no, that's super cool. And then probably again from you, like seeing it being built, not from the ground up, but just adding on over the years. Like I guess you've been with them for 6 years. I did not want to do that.
I knew it was coming. No, yeah, I think this is my 7th season. I can't keep track anymore, but I think it's the 7th one.
When did you graduate?
2019.
Yeah,
but
so
like
then,
2020 is like a weird one because like I got laid
it's a
off,
funky
but
one.
also like
Came
there was
back.
like a half season. Like it was very strange.
Okay, so 6, 7.
Yeah, one of those.
You?
One of those.
Did you guys have to do that for your social media?
No, I refuse to participate in certain trends.
Okay, fair enough. As you can. I'm embarrassed. I'm going to move on to the next question now.
Fair.
Oh, this is a good one. So how much do you think that the media side impacts overall performance, the overall performance environment, even directly? Because I'm a female, I was a soccer player, and then now I'm looking at it from the lens of a performance side and integrating the social media and like what girls think about when a picture is posted, when, it's appearance. Sometimes what they see is, it's an appearance. So how do you see that maybe, the media side impacts overall performance?
I don't know if it impacts overall performance, but I'd like to think I have built a relationship with the players where they're comfortable enough to tell me if they don't like a photo. I've gotten a couple of texts, obviously, of people being like, hey, can you take this down? It's not my favorite, which totally understand. Like, for me, I never want to put our players in a bad light. Like, my job is to elevate them. And if there's anything they're uncomfortable with, and especially where there's sensitive topics, like I'll make sure we run things by them, and like our PR team is also very good at that.
Nice.
But I think having them know that there's a space for them to share their I don't want to say concerns, but like anything that they're not exactly confident in is what I would like to create for them.
Yeah. Because I appreciate that obviously, but I think that's the way to go. Just because you're like, there's so many people online, and getting into the next question is my favorite word is social media warriors. So how do you filter out the social media warriors? in I guess in like a healthy way, like you personally, because you manage the account, so I see the comments. I know there's some crazy comments, and sometimes those comments can really impact an athlete, and it could be good media, it could be bad media, but just from the lens of protecting an athlete, like how do you go about that process?
Yeah, I think thankfully for social media now you can kind of hide and like filter out comments, or like if there's someone who's commenting who's just like so negative, you can restrict their comment so they don't appear anymore, which is nice. But I think for me, I've seen the Dash in a lot of versions of themselves, and like when it's not going well, people get real loud about that.
Oh yeah.
But it's more so knowing when to put my phone down one more, because you can't filter every comment, right? Like
Right.
there's just gonna be some that you're like, I give up, like this is it. But what I can do is kind of, when we have a bad loss, like maybe don't tag the players and stuff, or like maybe if we're losing 5-1, maybe we don't post the one goal we scored, like don't create a situation where these comments can find a way to them. Obviously we can't protect them from everything, and like that's not necessarily my job to do, but when I can kind of help shield it a little bit, I try to. But it's a very difficult balance, because I think people really do forget that your words carry weight.
Yeah.
Especially for athletes who their entire livelihood is how they perform.
Yeah.
I just feel like we've lost so much compassion in the COVID age, because everything was online.
Absolutely.
So like, I think a lot of people forgot that it's a person on the other side. Like
Exactly.
people read this, people have feelings, people
Yeah.
can feel a certain way about things, whether it's right or wrong, that's a whole nother thing. But like, it's just, I think we've just lost a lot of compassion. So like where I can try to play a part and help out in that, I do, but you can't screen everything, which is just unfortunate.
Yeah, no, it's so difficult and complex. Like, and you're right. And I think in the 2020, even like if you want to go back to when we were in middle school, that's when like we started using social media, and people just feel like you're not going to see that person that you just commented about, and then you go to school the next day, and then they would never say that thing. Like they would never say
it.
And so these people they don't know who you are, they don't know anything about you, they don't know any context. And honestly, the people that are commenting normally don't even know the rules, the laws of the game. They've never played. So and those are like, I'm like, they're rage baiting.
No, they are. No, they are. It's funny when I like look through our comments, and like there's one that's like so clearly rage bait, and I'm like, I'm not gonna fall for it today. I'm not gonna fall for it.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like, I feel like on an engagement side, it's okay to engage, right, and respond. And I personally, with my own accounts, like I teeter a line, like I'm not gonna make myself look bad, but I take everything lightheartedly. I'm not like ignoring people, but I think that it's fun to kind of engage back with them, because you're not gonna hurt my feelings, buddy. Like
Like you're not, the goal is like, if the goal is to upset me, you're not. So it's everyone handles it differently. I've seen players who will head on, like reply to people, and players who just are very good at putting their phone down and moving on about their day. Because at the end of the day, you're reading words on a screen that don't really matter. So it's interesting to see how people deal with it.
Yeah, it's a tough one to navigate too sometimes. So moving on to, I want to talk about a little bit more about you and your role again. But what is something that has stuck with you as a really great moment emotionally in your career with the Dash?
This might be because I was just talking about this with one of my old coworkers the other day, but 2022, we usually do like a childhood cancer game. And somehow, I don't remember how this happened. It might have been through our charities, but there was this little girl. She was 4 years old. Her name's Noble. We had her. It was basically like sign a contract for a day, come spend time with the team, and like, when I tell you, she was the cutest little 4-year-old I've ever seen in my entire life. And like so full of life. She was still going through treatment, I believe, but like so full of life, like so excited to be there. Like she cried when we told her she had to go home. Like it was so sad, because she was like doing, she like did warm-ups with the team and like got to see practice and all this stuff and had to go home. But we loved her so much. We had her do, she like walked out with a player twice, I think, for a game. So like one with Jane as captain, and then one with, I think it was Ebony Salmon for another game. But it was just like, to see that and like see, like, again, at the end of the day, I love my job, and like, don't get me wrong, I take it seriously. It's just soccer. But to see how it impacts other people like that, like the way she lit up just being around the team and the way the team took to her, like it was very like, I know there are people who don't like kids, but just
Yeah.
watching the people who you're like, oh, I didn't know you were like a kid person, just interact with her.
Yeah.
It was like the most pure, like, that's like something that sticks with me no matter where I go, is just like the human side of it all. Like, that was so cool. And I hope that little girl's doing well. I hope she is. But like, it was very humbling to see, because it took you out of the high intensity. Because I think at that time we were like on the edge of making playoffs. Like, it was really ramping up, but to have that moment leading into playoffs was really, really cool.
Yeah, that's so sweet. Sign a player for a day.
Yeah, yeah. It's like
my
I know we did it pretty consistently on the Dynamo side, but it was newer on the Dash side at the time. So it was very cool to like get to be a part of that.
Yeah, I don't think I knew about that. That's so sweet. I actually, in college, I interned for a nonprofit that, they supported childhood cancer. And so it's called the Sunshine Kids, actually. Shout out to the Sunshine Kids. And they're based in Houston, and they have experiences for kids that are going through cancer.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so I wonder if they do anything of that. Their Craig Biggio was one of their I
nice.
think like funders. And so actually at the Astros Stadium, fun fact, if you ever see on Biggio's, no, yes, wait,
Wait.
yeah, no, okay, yes it is. It's Craig Biggio. Sorry,
Okay.
on his name, because his name's up there. There's
Yeah.
a sunshine star,
Oh,
and
that's
that's the
so
logo.
cute.
Yeah,
I love
and they bring
that.
kids out to the game, so they do more baseball things. But that's really sweet. I wonder, is there like an organization that consistently does it with the Dash?
I know. So we're partnered with MD Anderson. They're our front jersey sponsor. So we do a lot of work with them. I don't believe this child was with them. They were part of a different foundation. I don't remember what it was, but yeah, it's any, like, especially with, at that time, one of our coaches was a childhood cancer survivor. So it just kind of like meant more to us in that
Yeah.
moment. So it was very cool to just like have it all come together.
Nice. Also, shout out to being in Houston.
I know.
And hearing that horn, gosh. But that's really nice to be able to. I mean, again, I hear you on it. It's like it's just a game. It's just soccer. But the biggest part is the human aspect and the human connection. And I think that's a really cool thing to be able to do that, and especially from your role, because there's so many ways that you can connect. You can highlight that. You get to share those stories. Probably is really fun.
Yeah. I think it's really cool because there are people who have like reached out to us, just like shooting their shot in our DMs or like replying to a post that we've put out and like getting to get more information and connect. That's actually how Katie's Foster Fam Rescue came out to Pups at the Pitch last week. They have dogs that are up for adoption, but they literally DM'd us. And so I forwarded their information out to other people in the office, and we were able to get them out for a visit to training to surprise the players. And then they actually were at our Pups at the Pitch game with the dogs up for adoption. So it's very cool to get to see these things come to life.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you think in terms of players can't be like, hey, sign me, or agents,
No.
but brands can say, hey, can we do something in your collab?
Yeah,
And that's a good route for them to message, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would prefer an email if you can find the right contact information. But yeah, players, sporting side. Anything else, business side. So
Okay, just so we're clear.
yeah, just so we're clear.
Okay, good. Well, that's really nice too. I didn't know that also. But it's, again, that is why it's important to know the difference and to know a little bit more about this. Good. I'm glad that I'm understanding, and hopefully other people will understand a little better as well.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. I have a couple more questions. So what is something that you've learned about yourself since you've been working in this environment for quite some time?
Ooh. I think I've learned just how passionate I can get about it. I think I've gotten into situations at work where I've just put too much of myself in the work, in the way that it has exhausted me. Like, I know we were going to talk about burnout a little bit too, but
That's the next question, so you can go into it.
I mean, like, I often forget to take care of myself because I am so invested in what I'm doing, and just figuring out the balance there, but also like, sometimes you have to take the personal stuff out of it. Like, obviously I want to be the best possible club on socials, put out the best possible content, but it just doesn't go that way sometimes. And like, sometimes things are out of your control and you can't get what you want all the time. And like, not to say that like I am someone who needs to get what I want, but like to me, sometimes when I give everything that I can and it's still not enough, like that stings. I mean, like, as an athlete, obviously, like, people know that feeling. It's the same in my job, I feel like. And sometimes I just have to make decisions that aren't my personal favorite, but it's the better decision for what we're doing or like what is going on. And it's just being able to take a step back and be like, okay, I care and I feel very strongly about this, but how is this affecting everything else at large? Like, and that's still something I learned too, right? Like, I don't think you ever figure it out. Like, it's very, evolving.
You get better at it.
Yeah, you get better at it. You understand more, especially as you grow and like get put in different situations. I think being able to take a beat and be like, hey, not the best move here, or like, hey, we like this is just not going to be able to be done. Like it's something that I still like week to week, honestly, like figure out and get better at, hopefully. But it's something that I didn't realize I did so much. Like I am a very like, if I care about something, like I will go 100%.
Yeah.
And I'm like that way about people too. Like if you're
Very
in my
similar.
corner, like I will ride for you. But it's at the same time like you have to give back to yourself sometimes, and that's something very hard. I know people at work will understand this, but I am very bad at giving myself time off. It's especially like when you work in social, you feel like you're always on.
Yep.
But being able to give myself grace and like take time off and just recharge and spend time with family, or just get away from the city for a little bit, like still getting better at that too. But it's to have a support system at work, especially with leaders who encourage that, is very, very refreshing.
Yeah. And it sounds like, again, I think you alluded to it before, but it becomes something that's more manageable. And the more you understand yourself better, the better you can take care of yourself, because I'm sure there may have been a time that you experienced burnout and it felt like a crash out, you know?
Yeah.
And that teaches you, I mean, if you don't take time for yourself, life will make you, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, you don't get a choice.
Yeah, like I believe in this for me, like you'll either, like your body will become physically ill, like you'll be sick. You'll be sick, and then you have to take it off. You're forced to slow down instead of doing it at your own time. Like, oh, let me take a day off here, 2 days here, a little weekend, switch my phone off, go to somewhere else, relax my brain, like just slow down, hear nothing, hear the ocean. Like those things are really important. Like being out in nature, being with friends, being with people that are going to re-energize you. And so I hope, I mean, not that you've like figured out, but like, do you know how to manage it a little bit better? Like
a little bit, yeah. I think when I was first starting out, I was so eager to just be like the perfect employee and like be the best at what I could be. Like, and there was nobody chasing behind me. Like, it wasn't like I was trying to beat someone out. Like, it was just like, I just want to be the best for.
To prove yourself.
Yeah, it was actually funny. I had a conversation with Angela, our president of women's soccer. She was just doing a check-in with everybody, just how we're doing through preseason. And I was going to her about something. I kind of had a question on, like, I wanted her advice on how she would handle a situation. And she kind of paused, looked at me and said, I'm going to say this because you need to hear it, but you don't have to prove yourself.
Ooh.
And like that, I started crying because I genuinely, like, I don't think I understand that sometimes. Like I am still sometimes in the mindset of like, I have to show people that I know, especially being like a younger woman, in sport and like in a space that's so, I don't want to say new because like again social media has been around, but like I know what I'm doing and like I deserve to be here. And I think to hear that from someone in a position like hers, like it just lifted a weight off my shoulders that I didn't know I was holding. So it's like such a work in progress, but it's still knowing that I have the people above me who see it and the people who understand what we're all going through. It's very, very life-changing. Like, I don't want to say life-changing, but like it changes your perspective of like how you have to go about things. Yeah,
I think it really comes down to perspective as well. And I love to hear that she said that because it's true. I mean, I think that sometimes I can tell by this podcast even more, but you're so passionate about what you do. You're good at what you do as well. And being a woman, we always find that we have to, do a little bit more or try a little bit harder. And being an immigrant too, like there's like that fire under you, right? No one's chasing you, but there's something instilled in you that maybe makes you want to make sure that it's done well. And that if anyone has any comments, like they can't say anything because you've checked all the boxes and you've tried every route, you've worked really hard. And that's why in the very beginning I said, you've earned this. Like there's nothing to prove, you've earned it, you're here. So maybe if you could just enjoy it a little more.
I know, I'm trying. It's a work in progress. We're getting there.
Yeah. But on that topic, and maybe last question, what I normally do to conclude the episode is ask what advice you might give to somebody else pursuing a career that is in women's sports or maybe just in the position that you're in.
I mean, I think I just go for it. Like, I look back and I was literally, like, I would be annoyed with myself, like, my younger self, because I was just so eager to get in spaces that, like, I wanted to be in, that I was willing to do anything. And, like, I had great people who gave me opportunities and, like, allowed me to be in a space that showed me whether or not I wanted to be here. But I think passion, I think there are a lot of passionate people, is what I want to say. But I think being able to show that you're more than just passionate and you have the skills to do it. And like, don't get me wrong, I didn't have the skills when I first started. Like there was a lot that I had to learn, but it's like showing the willingness to learn, to make mistakes and like be able to adapt. And like, I think for me, especially when I look at people who join my team, it's very much about like, how much growth can you get out of this? Like, I think people who aren't willing to grow or aren't willing to learn things is where it gets difficult. Yeah. But from what I've seen, like I've had so many like college students, high school students reach out and like want time with me because they want to ask how I got here. And like my path is very different from other people's paths. I understand that, but just that same core, like when I can see someone who just like wants to get in or like is very, very eager to learn, to do what it takes, like I think that's gonna get you so much farther than someone who's like, I just want to work in social or like, I just want to work in women's soccer just because it's like the thing right now. I think it's very much about like, I'm a big people person on like who you are as a person and who you are at work and how you show up in those spaces. But it's just that willingness to understand that you're not going to have all the answers, but you want to get all the answers. Like you're willing to, I don't want to say do what it takes, because I think that's
it's just I know what you're saying. Yeah. It's like a funky phrase to say, but
it's like you're like it's maybe we can
come up with it. I'm like, you're willing to endure difficult things in order to you finish the sentence.
I don't know if it's endure difficult things, but it's more so like just having an open mind and like being willing to take what lessons are like offered, I guess. I don't know. Like it's very like just being open and like knowing you're not going to get it right every single time. Because I think I'm also a little bit of a perfectionist.
I was going to ask that, but I didn't really want to.
No, I literally like there were moments where I would like freak out if one thing went wrong early in my career. But like, again, a work in progress, but I've gotten better at it. And it's like, you can't control everything. Focus on what you can control.
Yes.
And things just aren't going to go right all the time. That's just not how life works.
Yeah. I think step one, honestly, I talk to this with athletes, but step one is like acknowledging that maybe you have these perfectionism tendencies. That's step one. Because if you don't know, you're grinding and just going in circles and constantly unfulfilled and nothing's good enough.
Yeah.
Step two is, knowing that work on things that are in your control and truly in your control. And then 3 is learning how to let go of the things that aren't. And then 4 is knowing that things are going to constantly evolve, which again, you kind of mentioned all these, like you do know all of them. I'm not here to like give you advice. So I'm here as a friend. If you need me, hit me up. But that's just, it's very common.
Yeah.
People, I mean, maybe people pleaser.
Yeah.
Maybe just,
anyway.
But it's because you're passionate and it's because you want to do well and you want it to be good work and you hold yourself to a high standard, right? And that's what it is, that people have high standards, they know that they're capable of, and they want to push past limits. And that is something to applaud with yourself. Like not everybody is that driven. And so that's a character trait you want to use to your advantage as opposed to a disadvantage.
Yeah, for sure. You just read me so well. That was crazy. But no, you're right. And like, obviously it's taken a lot of work to even understand that about myself, but to like figure out how to apply it day to day where it's a healthy environment for me, both personally and professionally, is something that I enjoy working through because it means I'm getting better as a person, you know?
Exactly. And you've alluded to this a bunch of times in the episode, like the human connection, having fun, that soccer's just a game, to take a step back. And so Yeah.
It's I think something I love is getting to be out at training and like with the players too, just like they're just so silly. Like they're just people. I think what I like want people to know is like what you see on our socials with players, like that is who they are. Mm-hmm. Like that is 100% who they are. And that's why I enjoy what I do so much. Like outside of the front office, I have a great group there, but these players are like, they're just funny. They're just fun people to be around. Like genuinely, I don't know if this is like this at every team. Like I don't know those players, but the players that we have in the building right now, like they make showing up so easy for me, which is not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. I love that for you.
Thank you.
I really appreciate this conversation. This has been so helpful for me to have insight about you and the club and just, your position. And now I know a little bit more about the differences.
We're getting there.
Yeah. So hopefully this has been helpful for you too. I hope listeners really took something away from this. I mean, I don't see how you couldn't, but.
No, I mean, this has been great. I mean, I know we've been trying to do this for a very long time, so I'm glad we finally did. But no, this was good. And like, it's a nice space to kind of just, as you know, I love talking about my job and like what I do and soccer in general. So like to have a space to do that, like a contained space like this is very, very cool.
Oh, awesome. Well, I'm glad to have you on. Seriously, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you. And
Thank you.
thank you, everyone. If you are listening, have a happy Thursday. We come out on Thursdays. And so also dash on.
Yep. You said it, not me.
Isn't that the thing?
No, we can talk about that offline though.
Okay. See you at our next local Houston Dash game. Bye, everyone.
Bye.